This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel this afternoon. And let me tell you, feels good to get a second video up. It's only been 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Who really knows how long it's been since I actually put together two whole videos on a Tuesday? My goodness, probably since the last time we played a game on a Tuesday. Okay, so with that said, you know what? The doom and gloom, it can get us down all at once. But Ken Holland, fear not, was here today talking live on Edmonton Oilers social media to tell you some news about the Oilers. If you got the speech or interview or availability, whatever you want to call it, live, well, you probably caught some interesting nuggets. And I mean, there's, I promised you one in the other video. That was about the offer on Anton Slepyshev. And of course, the news on Broberg, kind of the idea what's going on there. But there's a little bit going on here in terms of draft picks, prospects that Ken Holland was talking about midway through the video. Just trying to discuss kind of the strategy, right? Is we pushed for the playoffs, and dang, we made it so close. My goodness, this is the most Oilers thing that could happen. You go on a crazy run after December 31st, and you get so close to playing your way into the playoffs, and the season gets paused. What kind of luck is that? And you can kind of see Ken Holland's asking himself that the entire time answering these questions. However, the part of being a regular contender or regular team in the playoffs is drafting, developing. And Ken Holland said that that's how he had success in Detroit, right? He mentioned names like Holmstrom, Franz, and Zetterberg. Guys, I'm sorry, those are big, big names in terms of success in Detroit over the years. So he's talking about building those guys, right? He was talking more in the Philip Broberg context, but those are guys that you bring along and develop into the system, bring them to the NHL and make them work. Well, that's kind of what we get in this video here. This is what I'm going to break down. So before we get to that, what we have to break on is the black and white issue. The black and white issue for Ken Holland is the Neil Lucic third round pick. He says it's black and white. Simply put, because there was nothing there saying it was prorated, right? There's no clause in the compensatory or in the conditions saying if the season gets canceled at the 72 game mark and James Neal has 19 goals, we'll prorate it for 82 games, and dang, there's 23 goals, and my goodness, Calgary, here's a third round pick. There's none of that. There's absolutely none of that. So his idea and his theory and his working kind of math is that that pick will return to us in the draft. So what that does for us, let's go over and double check what that does for us, shall we? That kind of brings us to this, which is where we go to teams. Sorry, I'm getting rusty at Cap Friendly, I can tell you that much. And that would bring us a total of 5 picks in this year's draft. Now, yes, we're technically, until the word comes down official, we're sitting on 4 picks. But if it's black and white issue like Ken Holland says, we're sitting on 5, and suddenly we're not as bad. However, we get to number 2, the secondary thing. I'm still dancing around that teaser I threw you, but that's what a good video is all about, giving you the good stuff at the end, right? And come on, how long has it been since I've had good news to talk about, interesting news to talk about with the Oilers on a second video of the day? Just I'm enjoying this, all right? Let me enjoy me. If you don't want to hear this, skip ahead and you'll find out what's going on. But if you already watched the conference, you already know what's going to come on. So Holland is actively looking at this point after this season to get picks back moving forward. What that means is so as you can draft and develop and get players into the system. That's what we're talking, right? Is the Holmstroms, those kind of players. That's what you got to do. You got to have those picks to make those picks. And that's what Ken Holland's probably looking to do. Once this season concludes, or whatever the math may be that adds up, he's looking to make picks. So now move back to my other video from earlier, the Anton Slepyshev move. Well, who are you moving out, right? Kara, Chase on Neal, those are 3 really likely targets to move out if you're bringing in Anton Slepyshev, just because you got to move out a forward. I mean, Patrick Russell gone, sure, but Slepyshev's not signing to be a 13th, 14th forward again. Not a chance, I don't think. So right, is you're probably moving out one of the more veteran guys in the lineup, so you're probably getting a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, some kind of compensation there, so you're getting some picks guaranteed out of a trade. where else do you go, right? Where do you make some trades in terms of guys in the system to find other picks? And that's going to be the interesting part here, because the last good nugget I'm talking about is the young players being important. The young players were really important. That's a line Ken Holland used for this season. Credits Bear. He credits the impact of Kyler Yamamoto. And of course, Caleb Jones for stepping in and shouldering those top 4 minutes while Clefbaum was out with injury, and somehow we continued to win. That's the nitty gritty of what our prospects did for us this season. I'm sure there's been other guys stepping in, right? Legason, Benson stepped in. The guys have stepped in at some point this season, but the three key guys that stepped in are those three. So then you've got still young guys in the system. Well, who are they? The triple Bs, right? I already mentioned one. Benson, Bouchard, and Broberg. Ah, see? Benson, Bouchard, Broberg, triple Bs, right? I had to think. I was trying to think the guy on the farm, but I had already named the two guys on the farm. The other guy's in Sweden. What am I thinking? See, getting rusty. And I was just talking about him already, wasn't I? Ha! Tough go. Samorukov in there as well, and here is your nugget. I promised you a little bit of a nugget, something that you probably didn't catch, or, hey, wait a sec. What did he just say? You probably didn't hear it. Raphael Lavoie turning pro next season. Ah, yes, he's 1 year of junior left, I believe, but I think because of the way his birthday works, it makes him eligible for the AHL. So he will be in the AHL next season. This isn't exactly groundbreaking news. I think many of us already had this stamped on paper that it was going to happen, but this is just confirmation. Similar to the Broberg news earlier today in the other video is, it's just confirmation, affirmation of what we already knew, and we're good to go there. So Raphael Lavoie turning pro this season. So you get back to it, right? Okay, now you get to the Holland looking to get picks back moving forward. There's some guys that are going to be available in all of that, right? His goaltending situation seems pretty shored up. We don't need to worry. You've got Stuart Skinner. You've got Olivier Rodrigue, Dylan Wells. Somebody's going to come out of the minors and actually be a goaltender for us, I'm sure. If not, you've got Konovalov in Russia. So, okay, that's fine and dandy, but that really begs with a question on one prospect in particular for me. Cooper Marody, not mentioned anywhere in any of this discussion. Yeah, I think if you're going to be starting to talk about anybody that's moved for a package of picks, I think Cooper Marody, who I believe we traded a third-round pick for originally, played some NHL time. Unfortunately, it was under Todd McClellan and Ken Hitchcock, who decided he doesn't need to play more than 4 minutes a night. We won't worry about it. Well, you know what? I could see Cooper Marody, if this is how it's trending, ending up being that guy traded for a pick to make up for a pick we don't have. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. And realistically, you look at the Oilers farm system on Cap Friendly the rest of the way home, there's not much else that we're going to be talking about, right? Cooper Marody, Ryan McLeod, definitely not giving him up. He's kind of that guy we're bringing along slowly, but I think Ryan McLeod's going to be an absolute beast on this team. Kirill Maximov, no mention of him. He's, again, a guy that just turned pro, should be a beauty, but again, a later round pick, who really knows? Ostap Safin played in the ECHL this year because there was really nowhere to bring him along in the AHL level due to what had gone on his past couple of years in junior. Well, we'll see what happens with him. And then really from there, we don't have anyone else that's going to be turning pro for us next season. So that's the interesting part there. And then on the defensive side, William Lagesson. I mean, yeah, William Lagesson probably ends up traded for picks, but end of the day, William Lagesson, a very valuable defenseman as well, especially to call on in case there's one or two injuries in the farm system and you don't want to bring up one of the bigger guns like Samorukov or the minors to sit as the seventh defenseman. So interesting times for the Oilers, and I really am glad that out of this negative news, this sad, terrible news about Colby Cave that we're really just all hoping the best for around the world right now in terms of our situation out our front door, and then you hear like something this and you hear a personal struggle like this is tough. You know what, this was a little bit of good news today, just brighten the day, and it happened before, so it's kind of off, but you know what, we'll just offset it, and hopefully at least we have something positive to talk about while also having something to feel for, worry about in the same sense. It wouldn't be another day in the life of an Oilers fan if it weren't that way, and I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm just saying there's good, there's bad, there's the struggle, and there's the highs and lows. And you know what? We all get along, we all get through it, and we all hope to continue on through it. That's for sure. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's second episode here on the channel. Again, thoughts and prayers out to Colby Cave and his family, and we'll hopefully catch you tomorrow with some very positive news, or the day after, out of Colby Cave's situation. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here.